Hey everyone, today, we're going to learn how to paint a still life using only the 4 primary colors. In a previous video, we talked about primary colors, and for this painting, I used the CMYK color system: cyan, magenta, yellow, and key black. Instead of using a traditional full-color palette, I focused on mixing these 4 colors to achieve a full range of tones and shades. This approach not only simplifies the painting process, but also improves color harmony and unity within the artwork. The surface I worked on is duck canvas, which is a fantastic option for acrylic painting. It absorbs paint well without making colors appear too transparent, allowing for better layering and blending. Before I started painting, I made sure to prepare the canvas properly. A well-prepared canvas makes a huge difference in how the paint behaves, ensuring smoother application and better durability over time. I began with the background, working on the shadows and midtones before moving on to the main elements of the composition. Establishing a strong background first is essential because it sets the stage for the rest of the painting and helps create a sense of depth. Rather than focusing on individual objects right away, I like to work from general to specific, starting with broad areas of tone and color before refining details. When painting, it's important to focus on more than just the colors themselves. The tone, how light or dark a color is, plays a much bigger role in defining form and creating a sense of realism. Even if the color isn't perfect, it can be adjusted later, but if the tones are incorrect, the entire painting can feel flat or lifeless. Understanding light and shadow is crucial because they define the shape and depth of objects. Along with tone, paying attention to texture is also essential, as it helps convey the material quality of different objects, whether they are smooth, rough, shiny, or matte. One of the techniques I used in this painting was underpainting, which means creating an initial layer that establishes the main colors and values before adding details. The underpainting should reflect the general tones and colors of the subject rather than just being a monochrome sketch. This helps unify the composition and makes subsequent layers blend more naturally. Once the underpainting was complete, I moved on to refining the forms and adding more defined color variations. Acrylics dry quickly, which can sometimes make blending difficult. To solve this, I used a retarder medium, which slows down the drying time and allows for smoother transitions between colors. This is especially useful in hot weather, where acrylic paint tends to dry even faster. A retarder medium makes acrylics behave more like oil paints, giving the artist more time to blend and work on subtle tonal shifts. However, it's important to choose a non-toxic retarder for safety reasons. When adding highlights, I made sure to use thick layers of paint, as acrylics tend to become slightly more transparent when they dry. This ensures that the brightest areas remain vibrant and don't lose their intensity. If a more transparent effect is needed, the paint can be diluted with water or glazing medium to create subtle transitions. Some artists avoid using pure white for highlights, but I believe it depends on the situation. Sometimes, pure white can be necessary to achieve the right level of brightness, especially in reflective or illuminated areas. However, when it comes to shadows, I prefer not to use pure black. Instead, I mix it with a hint of blue or red to create a deeper, more natural dark tone. Acrylic paint shares many similarities with oil paint, but the key difference is drying time. Acrylics dry much faster, making them ideal for layering and building up color quickly. While oil paint allows for more extended blending, acrylics can achieve similar effects if used correctly with mediums like retarders and glazing liquids. One important thing to remember is that you can apply oil paint over dry acrylic, but not the other way around. Acrylic cannot adhere properly to an oil-painted surface. For those interested in preparing their own duck canvas, a simple method is to use a mixture of PVA glue and acrylic gesso in equal parts. After stretching the fabric onto a wooden frame, dampen it slightly and iron it to ensure it's tight and smooth. Then, apply the primer mixture in even layers, allowing each coat to dry before sanding and applying the next. This process creates a durable surface that works especially well with acrylic paints. However, for oil painting, a different priming method is required, as oil paint needs a more absorbent ground. As the final step in the painting process, I revisited the highlights, making sure they blended smoothly into the surrounding colors. Harsh, Isolated highlights can make a painting look unnatural, so it's important to build them up gradually. This creates a more realistic effect and enhances the overall sense of light in the composition. Another important detail is to ensure that highlights are supported by lighter underlying tones so they don't appear too stark against the rest of the painting. I hope this tutorial was helpful and gave you some valuable insights into working with acrylics. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with your thoughts. I'd love to hear about your experiences with acrylic painting and any challenges you've faced. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.